Watchful, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, good.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I ain't heard you in a while. Hope you're doing okay.
Awesome.
I couldn't help but notice you at BronyCon. How much did the trip run you, just for a future reference for fans looking to go, for a starting point for advice?
I'd say probably around 1,000. That's for me buying plane tickets from the Southwest. Oh wait, actually no, that's really confusing the way I said that. Well, it was with Southwest Airlines, but I also mean, from the Southwest region of the United States. So it's quite a flight. Yeah, so, plane tickets plus, hotel, splitting the hotel money with one other person, that was about $1,000.
I noticed you started your channel in 2013. I can assume you started Brony about the relative same time frame?
I became a Brony probably, let's see, I can find a rough time estimate. I think it was around August.
Well, you don't need an exact month. Just tell me what season you popped in at.
Yeah, I was between seasons 2 and 3. I caught up, saw the first 2 seasons all on Netflix and then waited a few months before season 3 started. And so, my channel started between seasons 3 and 4. And, I spent a lot of that time trying to find kind of what I always like to consider kind of being like my cutie mark in the fandom, thinking, what is it? What am I going to do here? I attempted fan fiction writing for a bit, kind of failed miserably at that, although I'm starting to pick it up again. And then a few other things, tried drawing, definitely cannot do that. And eventually, it all started when I saw one of Tommy Oliver's videos, or, back then, Brony Curious. And I thought, well, I can do that. So, no. Okay, I didn't mean it, not in the dismissive way. I meant hey, I can do that. So.
Oh, no. You meant it totally. Yeah, no.
I kind of meant both. Well, kind of both ways. Hey, I can do that. That seems fun, and it seems fairly easy. Yeah. So that's kind of where I started.
Well, not everyone can have your amazing artist talent, don't it? The rest of us schlup analyst reviewer people need to go review analysts. Anyways, let's see here.
I have kind of an obvious question, but it can wait till the thing started.
Say, Cam, I noticed you did a redesign for your OC. By the way, I like the new look. Did you do that, or who did you commission?
I did the OC redesign myself. That it was to an extent. That was actually part of the reason why I decided to bring back my channel was because it's kind of one of my philosophies and part of the reason why I quit in the first place, because I like to be doing stuff that's constantly challenging me and trying more advanced things. And since at least the skill level it required to make videos basically flatlined, I got bored of it. And then at some point I had my idea for a redesigned version of my OC, that would look much more sleek and everything. And I thought, hey, that would be more difficult to do. It would be a good challenge to make that OC and then, also do a few more other visual upgrades around my channel. So I did.
Free heads up, you draw a whole hell of a lot better than I do.
Well, okay. I mean, it wasn't really drawn. I mean, it's vector, so I kind of cheated. It was also originally traced off of just a screenshot of a standard pony. Well, I mean, I traced it, but then I also warped around a lot of the shapes to make it kind of taller and thinner. But
now that Toon's here, we can do the intro.
Hello.
Welcome to. We'll start off here. This is Limbo Podcast, welcoming you. Oh, I said it completely wrong. Welcome to Limbo Podcast, joined by the following co-host, the Watchful Pony.
Greetings, ponies and Pegasuses.
Perfect. The Burning Donut.
Hey.
I knew he was going to do that. Y2K Toon Critic.
What up?
And this week's King of Limbo, CamGoesPony.
Hello, I am here because I have the intense desire to impress my opinions about a show for 5-year-olds upon other people.
That sounds amazing.
5-year-olds are people too, pal.
Yeah.
Apparently so with bank accounts.
But
that's how that
people...
Patreon money works. What was was this channel your first time experience with YouTube?
I say yes, but that's a lie, because I think we all have the crappy Minecraft Let's Play channel that we try to pretend never existed, but that was technically my first experience with YouTube. And
hey, that's Dylan's legacy.
It went nowhere. And so, but I mean, CamGoesPony was the first, it was the first of any of my hobbies that I think took off and really went anywhere.
You talked about imaginary deadlines. What projects stressed you out the most?
I mean, probably just whenever the show is in season, always the pressure to, like new episode comes out and you gotta review that episode like the day it comes out, and then like I've found this just like if you post a review a week late, you get much fewer views and everything. Nobody cares.
It's not entirely true. Sometimes if you put a little extra love and care, there's a finite time period.
I mean, there's the like if you have like the god tier level videos like Silver Quill, then you can definitely take your time and it pays off. But
it pays to have Sophisto in your back pocket.
I like my I think my videos are good, but they're not that good.
That's what everybody thinks about their videos.
But I mean they're not Silver Quill level. I don't think that the quality where I can afford to be like, oh yes, I put several months of work into this.
But was there any one specific project, or was it just a bulk that wore down you? Was it like a break?
I think at least the main pressure and what caused me to shut down CamGoesPony the first time, I just came back. That was kind of just a constant pressure, caused by season 5 happening. And I suppose in a long term, there was one particular big project, just in the sense that this is something I mentioned. I don't think I mentioned it much on my channel, but I've mentioned it like on my blog. Basically, I'm in college now, and I am trying to get into my college's like digital art program and everything. And for that, there's like an application, and you need to submit them a portfolio. And I was somewhat feeling, I had kind of the deadline to produce a whole bunch of really cool, worthwhile content before that time. And the thing was like, you've seen one CamGoesPony video, you've seen them all, and I wanted time to work on other things and try out more stuff.
So when you said digital, are you going into like animation or something like that?
Yeah, technically my major is animation and visual effects. Although I'm putting the emphasis on the visual effects because I can't. Well, I mean, I'm no good at actual animation, mainly because I can't draw, and that's a big part of it. Mm-hmm. But visual effects, because I'm fairly experienced with like Adobe After Effects, so adding like special effects to real life footage or just creating things completely, like PMVs and something, like I've tried creating like PMVs and stuff, things like that, and that's kind of what I want to try to go into.
Toon, you got any questions?
What are your current thoughts on the analysis community right now? And how has it really changed, I guess, since you first started?
Oh, since I first started.
Here we go.
That is an interesting question. It's changed a lot over time. I think it's interesting because when I first started my channel, I was hoping it's like, when I first really wanted to start my channel, when I started like the preparations, the first really terrible drawings of my OC, scroll all the way down to the bottom of my channel and you'll see my first OC, which looked awful. But when I like started making those drawings, at that time, like the only 3 analysts were Tommy Oliver, Brony, and like Theory Brony. Oh, and Anthony C. So 4. But at that time, I figured, hey, if I hop in on this, it's a small community, I can get a decent amount of visibility and stuff. However, I was a little late, and around the time that I started releasing my videos was also at the same time where Digi just, he opened the floodgates. He started the subreddit and started posting analysis videos on EQD and everything. And that is when so many analysts spawned, the renaissance of sorts. And I remember, like, me and Dr. Wolf actually uploaded our first videos 3 days apart. And I have 2,500 subscribers. He has 25,000 subscribers. Or something ridiculous.
Well, I guarantee, Cam, if you had access to the same amount of artists working for you, you'd be doing just as well.
Well, and if I also had like the discipline to consistently make like,
oh yes, there is that.
3 videos a week consistently, like since he started. I mean,
have a whole army of editors doing like 15 videos like every 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, and and KP's kind of the same thing. Like there was a time where I think like there may have even been a short time where I had like maybe even slightly ahead of KP in like subscribers, and then whoosh, she took off, and then whatever.
Did when it first started to happen, you're like, oh, I'll catch up any minute now. Any minute. Okay, you can stop now.
Tried to tell, because at the time, at first I thought, man, this is going to be great for visibility. I'll be able to get lots of visibility on my videos right out the gate. And to an extent, that helped. I mean, my first video in one day netted me more subscribers than my shitty Minecraft Let's Play channel ever got in, 6 months. Not that that's saying much. But, and I think at first I felt like I was pretty much on top of the game, and then eventually once I noticed that some people were rocketing ahead at rather absurd speeds, like when Dr. Wolf did his 1,000 subscriber special and KP did like her 2,000 subscriber special. That's when I started to realize I was falling behind. And I don't know. I mean, I don't really know I guess I didn't do much about that. I guess I just kept doing my thing. And then, I still steadily gained subscribers, but just at a much slower rate than they did. So
there was one more thing here. Way more than one more. I noticed you, for your Made in Mainhatten video, when you was talking about closing up shop, you said something about you only had like 3 episodes to talk about. You've been underwhelmed by season 5? Or
this is one perception that I really wanted to make sure that people didn't get when I left, because a lot of analysts, started leaving being like, "Bleh, I don't like the show anymore."
I actually have a fun question I keep putting off. Don't worry, we'll get there.
Okay, but so for me, the thing is, like, I love that season 5. It is currently shaping out to be my favorite season of the show. It has a lot of really good episodes, and I have liked almost every episode in it so far. But believe it or not, my next video I will make will be my first straight up negative review, because I really hated the one where Pinky knows. I thought it was a terrible episode. Woo!
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
I just imagine Watchful Pony putting up a bro hoof me, man.
But yeah, I really like season 5. Just the problem is that I started to notice that my reasons for liking each episode were basically the same for every episode, because they upped their game a whole lot on like the animation department, and also just in general with the writing. There's a lot more the sense of humor, I think, in season 5 is a lot better than in previous seasons. The jokes are more clever, and the kind of just the dialogue and interactions between the characters feels more clever. And the thing is that those are like my chief like things that I liked about every episode, and they're the same for every episode. So it got to the point where I was essentially writing like literally the same review every week, and I said, this is stupid. So yeah, but I still like it, but the thing is that I can't write a review for everything.
Is that an issue of time constraint, that you're like, oh, you look back at it and you're like, damn, this is the exact opposite thing I said from last week, or what? I
don't know if it's an issue of like time constraints. Part of the problem with like writing the same thing every week is, I stopped kind of seeing the point in doing it, because, I'd be writing something and I realized, like, I swear I used, like, if I'm talking about like animation, I'll look at it and I was like, I swear I used this exact same sentence like last week. And that's when I started to realize that's when I started to realize that I'm literally just like repeating myself over and over again in my reviews, because I guess I have more of an eye for things like animation and the kind of subtle writing tricks like that, and I'm usually not one who looks too much at like just the individual, like the story arcs of each episode and everything.
Well, have you thought about doing a comparison and contrast in the animation when it's done properly? Like, say, a new episode is like, well, this is where it's really grown over the last couple of seasons, is just something different to say.
Yeah, I don't know. Having like really specific comments about animation is hard, although I did like comment a bit about that in my Maine in Mainhatten video. I was talking about how kind of the highlights that they show on like characters, I think they're starting to overuse that whenever a light is shining on them.
Yeah.
Is that like the J.J. Abrams lens flare trick?
Well, I don't know. For me, the problem is that it's not even a lens flare. Like, if they actually added a small flare, I think it might look better, because it would add some nice contrast. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, like, the highlights as they have them, it's hard to talk about without screenshots or anything. But as is, they look really kind of just blurry, and like someone literally just, I imagine this is how they did. Someone literally just took like a white brush, lowered the opacity to like 50%, just went across the character.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed they do that a lot in this season too.
It looked,
from an artist perspective, it's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, like sometimes, like in the scene in season 4 in Princess Twilight Sparkle, where they're standing in front of the huge pane glass, they had those kinds of highlights, and that I thought looked really good, because pane of glass is an obvious, very bright light source.
Yeah.
But for me, when I realized they did it way too much, was in friendship games. I love friendship games, by the way. But this one scene, the scene in Sai-Tuai's dorm room or whatever, her lab, it's fairly low light, and yet there's these big, like, smudgy highlights across all the characters' face and across Twilight's hair, and it looked nasty. So, yeah, what was the question again?
Oh no, I was offering a suggestion on how if you felt yourself stuck in a rut, since you obviously have more of an art animation style. I know you're selling yourself short. You beat the brakes off of me, sir. So I would always look at